I turned 30 last week, and I'm gonna need to tell y'all something. Y'all need to start traveling again. Roll the intro.
Problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the.
Welcome back to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I am your host, Mike Santi, and I mean, shoot. A lot's happened in the last 2 weeks or so since the last time I saw you guys. And it's really in the form of the fact that your boy turned 30. I wish I was more excited about that, honestly. It's oof. I hate that. I hate those people that just say like, oh, age is like a number and yada yada, usually pedophiles. But me turning 30, oof, if anything, not much has changed. I still procrastinate. It's like 1 a.m. right now when I'm recording this because your boy's back from vacation. He's back in the States. He's doing the thing. The Dominican Republic treated me nice. And before I get into any of that and why you guys should be traveling, a helicopter decides to fly by. The things that happen in the city sometimes, I swear. Before we get into anything else, disclosure. I'm double vaxxed. If you haven't seen that, a double vax. I got my doses. You know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the episode, Pfizer got hands, look up here. Click on that bad boy because I felt all of the symptoms. I say that to really say that your boy's double vaxxed. That's all you really need to know is that we're out here doing the thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty dandy, especially traveling internationally. For at least now. While you can, and this could change probably by the time you see this could actually change. This post won't age well. This video won't age well in the sense that this will be, for the time being, this is probably going to be a good time to still buy flights internationally, especially if you're going to go through places like, boom, not today's sponsor, but what I used, cheapcaribbean.com. Make sure you go check them out, especially if you want to take a vacation, some little all-inclusive, a little adults only kind of thing, which, you know what? Someone told me the other day that they thought that adults only was like a nudist beach, and to that I say, what are you doing? But I digress. But yeah, I mean, if you can get over the TSA lines, the usually hot and cramped airplanes where you are rebreathing your hot breath in your mask. If you can handle that for a few hours, a little bit of discomfort, you will be paid off with paradise. In the sense that honestly, guys, it's no surprise that I live in Charlotte, but for the price that I would have paid to go from Charlotte to Miami for a hotel on the beach and just round trips, for literally $100 more, I ended up going to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, all-inclusive resort, adults only, where everything was all-inclusive. I don't know how else to explain this to you guys, where drinks, food, all that stuff, everything was included. Literally all you had to think about was, do I want to go to the pool today or do I want to go to the beach? Or which restaurant on this large campus do I want to go to, or do I just want to go to the buffet? And for a vacation, which I really just needed to unplug from everything, it was perfect. So shouts out to that. Shouts out to the resort. The payoff is paradise, and it is so nice to just be able to completely disconnect from the world outside of the fact that your boy's data plan and phone plan does not cover the Caribbean. Canada, Mexico, I got you. Hear me out. I'll be over there, using my data left and right. I'm not over there at all. But this vacation, unless you were on resort Wi-Fi, you weren't really going to get communications to the outside world. And I kind of liked it, mainly because my only connection to the outside world every once in a while was being on the Wi-Fi or watching weird syndicated television. I was watching 90 Day Fiance, but 3 seasons past, at least from what I could tell. So there were parts in there that were nice that I didn't have to really think about when it came to the vacation, and I got to turn 30 in the motherland, or half the motherland, I guess. Yeah, half. Mom and grandma are Dominican. If you couldn't tell by her accent, watch the Watch the Drunk Answers episode because it is thick on that one. But I digress. All I wanted to say about that, about turning 30 is, number one, thank you to everybody that reached out and said happy birthday, all that good stuff. Not all that good stuff. Literally people that reached out and said happy birthday. I appreciate you guys. I'm pretty sure I thanked all of you individually. If not, as a whole, I'm thanking you now. And if you don't see this, then I know you don't really care about me because you don't watch the podcast anyways. Hear the podcast? You don't consume it. So there you go. But all that to say, people, get vaccinated. Get your vaccine on. Live your life. Start traveling again. Start doing that whole, that bullshit, catch flights, not feelings. You're allowed to catch both, but don't catch COVID. Make sure you're catching whatever you're trying to catch. Oh, this could go so far south. Catch things appropriately, even worse. All right. But yes, get you some sun. Get you some sunscreen for the sun. Do the things that make you happy. Go somewhere that you don't have to think too much about. And maybe if you're trying to explore, do your thing, but just realize, hey, the world is going to open back up eventually, and you might as well take advantage of it. So do that, because life comes at you fast, so you better like it. And that's how I get canceled. I don't like that at all. I don't like any part of that. If you do all those things and you enjoy your life enough, maybe you won't have to deal with the new segment of the show that your boy likes to call relationship problems. Relationship problems. The new segment where you guys send me all of your problems and I either give you advice or my opinion based off of my multiple years in the streets. And gosh, did you guys not disappoint at all this week? Like I posted, y'all definitely y'all delivered. And these are really just going to be the top 3, mainly because I have so many questions and things to say about these 3 that I don't think there's going to be enough time to go through anything else. So that being said, excuse my whole thing. Don't worry about this. We're going to keep going. But yeah, the top 3. And the first one being there's no good title for this, so we might as well just, come out there and just talk about it. So the first one is, my man wants another threesome, but I'm too attached to him 4 years later. Help me. I underestimated how much that was going to tickle me. Oh, fuck. Okay. So your man's wants a threesome, and you're still attached to him 4 years later. Is that what it is? Is that what I read? My man wants a threesome, but I'm too attached to him 4 years later. Help. Another threesome. Oh my God. My man's wants another threesome, but I'm too attached to him 4 years later. Well, let's talk about this. Oh boy. All right. So I guess blanket statement. Here's the easiest solution. Talk to the man. Express how you feel. I mean, if we could make a time machine and go back in time and say, hey, don't have a threesome in the first place, that's cool, because if there's anything I can tell you is that threesomes rarely work when there's a couple involved, because there's always going to be an unequitable distribution of wealth, if you want to call it that. In every threesome, you have the chance of 2 people connecting more than with each other than with a third, and that just happens. That's math, quick maths. 2 + 2 is 4, - 1, that's 3. Quick maths. But yeah, it's tough because, I mean, with a threesome, I'm under the impression that if you do a threesome once, you now open the door for that to be a possibility again. Your boy, personally, I'm not a good sharer when I'm in a relationship, so there's that. Plus, I feel like if I'm in a relationship, we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about you. But with this new threesome or another threesome, I would honestly just get to the point where you can communicate like, hey, man, I'm not about that anymore. I like you too much. I'm a little too attached. Because, honestly, transparency is going to get you a lot further in life, at least in my opinion, where you could BS this, you could tiptoe around it, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to tell the man, like, hey, man, I'm not cool with this. And if he truly does care about you, and if this is not a non-negotiable for him, like if this is a negotiable topic, then by all means talk about it. But if it's a hard no for you and it's like a non-negotiable, you just have to be true to yourself and stick to that boundary instead of just compromising and like giving in to what this person wants. Because if you're not about it and it goes south, you're going to feel guilty and blame yourself about it the whole time. You're going to feel responsible for it. Whereas if you're not about it and you exit out from there, you're going to have at least one less thing to worry about. But yeah, honestly, just talk about it with the man's. Talk about it to him. Talk about it to him. Talk with him. Talk to him about it. Talk to him about it. I don't want to say see how it goes, but you're going to have to be a little vulnerable and explain yourself as to like why you've changed the script now a few years down the road, whereas before you were down, now you're not down. So talk to the man. Be vulnerable. It's going to be uncomfortable, but hey, if you ain't looking for a partner or for a third, then you got to let your significant other know, or else they're just going to think you're down the whole time and just be like, oh, you're acting weird. So communicate. Not that hard. I mean, it is that hard. It's awkward and stuff, but make sure you're communicating. The second one, oh my Lord. The second one, I started dating an old boyfriend from high school after college, and turns out he was engaged. And then he broke off his engagement to date me. Number one, that's not really, maybe I expected these or you to ask a question, but for you to just tell me that, I'm shook. Yeah, that's all I could say. Oh, a dude you used to date is willing to break off his engagement for you. Oof. You know, part of me, the petty part of me, really wants to like blame you for this, where it's like, hey, what did you do? Well, we're like, I mean, I guess props to you. You must have that WAP, honestly. Yeah, fuck, I mean, we can say it. If a man's is still so in love with you or into you, where years after y'all dated in high school, then you started dating again after college, and he was still so enthralled with you that even after college, he broke off his engagement to pursue you. Oh, the other side of that's so messy. Like, you literally were at a point in time where you were promising or about to promise forever to somebody. So, I mean, if anything, I feel like there's a couple things in this story. Number one, I guess that's romantic in a sense, but I guess it all depends on how you feel about it. Like, if you were like, oh, I'm really about this dude and I didn't know he was engaged until he told me he was engaged, then you got a couple red flags that pop up. If homeboy's, number one, not being honest with you, number two, willing to end an engagement for you. Yes, it's you and everything like that, but if he had gotten as far as to propose to someone and start, planning their lives, and all it took was you to come along for him to like dismantle that, I don't trust that man's has the best foundation for what he wants in a significant other. Now, granted, this could be some like big Hollywood gesture in which, everyone's got their own love story, and to each their own. But yeah, if we're talking about normal people and you just ended an engagement just to go out with you, not even the promise of a future or anything like that, legitimately just to go out with you, I would start asking some questions, because it's just weird. It would be the equivalent to if a man was with you for, let's say, 10 years, married, has a kid, and then just up and leaves to date you, at a certain point in time, you got to start questioning, like, but at a certain point, you have to think or wonder that person has 10 years under their belt with somebody. And after 10 years, they're like, nah, that ain't it. Forget the fact that I have a kid and all that stuff. And just like leave that to the side to pursue you. I wouldn't feel that special. But hey, to each their own. I mean, it's really one of those things where it's just like, do your thing. And I think... No, we don't. Let me reset this. That way I can at least talk to you about the third one. So the third one, let me just read it for you guys. Cause this one, I got a lot of questions, per usual, not a surprise, but yeah, I was cleaning out my inbox and found some intimate pictures of an old ex. Do I tell them that I found these? Do I tell them that I found these, or do I just delete them and never say anything to them? Help me, please. I'm going to say this. All these answers are always going to be like a just depends kind of thing, but this really does depend on whether or what your relationship with your old significant other was, or your old ex was, because outside of the weirdness of my G, you found intimate videos and photos in an inbox, like an email inbox or like DMs, because what's happening? Like, if you were in an inbox, how old is this? Are you sending email nudes? That's wild. That's a whole other level of freaky. Like, if y'all are just trying to get it on via email, like, ooh, man, I don't want to think about it. Nope. Ugh, gross. But yeah, all roads point to delete it and never speak a word of this again. Like, I'm glad you didn't even add in like what your ex's name was or anything like that, and the fact that we're keeping this anonymous, because they don't have to know ever again. He or she does not have to know. The only exception to that is if y'all are like way past this, like y'all were exes and whatever, like you're cool and all that stuff, and nothing's gonna happen kind of thing, and it's just like you have that relationship based on like shit talking or whatever, then yeah, it might be a little funny to bring it up where it's like, oh, ha ha ha, saw your old nudes on emails. But even then, I don't like that idea. Just delete them. Don't tell anybody. I don't even know why you told me. Now I gotta know that your ex's nudes are somewhere in an inbox. Like, yeah, just delete it. It's fine. Nobody wants anything extra. Like, I don't even know what that sentence means. Number one, like, assuming that all this happened when y'all were adults and everything like that, it's just, that was a different time in that person's life. That was a different time in your life. And so, hey, you've moved on. You obviously, like, don't care about this. You're obviously in a point in time in your life where you're cleaning through shit because you've gone through an inbox, and I don't know how old this ex was, but it sounds like you had to do some cleaning in order for these to just like show up somewhere in that timeline. So yeah, delete them. Never say anything about it again. Don't tell anybody about this. We're just going to keep this my secret and the 20 people that view this. But yeah, get rid of the nudes. Also, though, it's 2021. People, if you are sending nudes, we'll talk about that some other time. But don't forget, submit your relationship problems every week, and we'll talk about. Let's do like the top 2, top 3. We'll keep doing the top 2 or 3, see what happens. But in this case, threesome with attachment issues, like, you just got to communicate that you're too attached now. Not attachment issues. You're just more attached than you were whenever you guys had the first threesome, and you're not cool with sharing anymore, and communicate that. The broke off engagement, red flags left and right. Like, maybe you guys did end up getting married. I doubt it, though. If you're really putting out your business on an Instagram post, I don't think it ended well. So good for you for listening to the red flags if that's what happened. And then if you find some old nudes anywhere, text message, DMs, email inbox of an ex, just delete them. Like, move on with your life. It's cool, man. It's cool to let that part of your past go. If y'all ever end up together again, maybe get some fresh nudes, but like, I'm not proud of that one. But yeah, just let them go. Move on from that chapter of your life and start a new chapter. One with less nudity, less digital nudity. That's what we're going to call it. But we're going to take a quick break, do that whole shebang. I don't know what that means. We're going to take a quick break, come back because I've lost the ability to speak English. We'll do the debate and the follows, and we'll get you guys on out of her.
P.O.P.
And we're back with another segment of the Great Debate. Last week, 2 weeks ago, last episode, who knows at this point? Last episode, I asked you guys cats versus dogs. I don't know why it took me that long to get there, but you came out and you voted, and 81% of you picked dogs. Now listen, there were a lot of you in there that would pick both, and per usual with these rules, I know you would pick both, which is why I'm having you pick one, because picking both is not entertaining to me, and then I got to argue both sides. But honestly, you guys know how I feel about cats anyways. You guys know how I feel about dogs, so it should be no surprise. Plus, you know my family's history with felines. And if you don't, check out episode 39, where you can find out more about why I would pick dogs over cats. Mainly for like a survival thing. I've got to do what I've got to do. I feel like this is the second time I've asked if this is too many buttons undone for a show. Is it? Y'all see too much? Is it? We'll talk about that later. But yeah, 81% of y'all voted dogs. Good on you. Cats, they're still cool, but also fuck cats. This week, which do you put in first? Cereal or milk? And I try sometimes not to talk about a topic or express my opinion on a topic so that I don't sway the votes. And I'm going to try really hard not to until next week. But like, if you pick, there's clearly one answer on this. Like, I know there's arguments for other answers, but there's clearly one answer if you're not a serial killer. No pun intended at all. So helicopter part 2. But yeah, so let me know in the polls, let me know in the comments, which do you put in first, cereal or milk? And I'm putting a lot of you guys on a registry once I find out what your answers are. But with that, we move on to the Friday follows, which, regrettably, I fucked up, guys. Like, I tried so hard to get this stupid 3-minute video posted on IGTV that basically said, like, hey, there's no episode last week. I'll be in Punta Cana, enjoying my vacation, enjoying turning 30, all that BS. And that you guys should go follow these people. You should vote for these people because they're in competitions. And Instagram was not playing with me. They weren't playing nice, at least. Every time I try to upload, it was just an error after error. And then I finally gave up and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my weekend. But nonetheless, these people deserve some mentions, some follows. And the first one being Jronetv. Josh is out here killing the game, doing bits when it comes to drone cinematography. Check him out at Jronetv. That is JRONETV on Instagram. The man's doing bits. He's putting out commercials. He's putting out promos. But also he putting out promos. So go check him out at Jronetv on Instagram. And then the second person that we're shouting out today is Erika Howell. She was in a competition for Maxim's Cover Girl. And now I know what you're thinking. Mike, how do you know somebody like that? It's just life, man. Just meet people. But we're going to take that out. But she was in a competition to become Maxim's Cover Girl. She placed second in her region. So show her some more love. Get her some more photo shoots out there. But you can find her at Howell333 on Instagram. I swear to God. You can find her at Howell333 on Instagram. That is HOWELL333 on Instagram. Go show her some love. But yeah, guys, we had helicopters in this episode. We had Fast and the Furious in this episode. We had relationship problems, and we had travel. And at the end of the day, your boy turned 30 last week. A new chapter, which means we're basically almost at a year that Problems on Problems has been live. So we'll talk about that in the next episode to come. But yeah, don't forget to do all the things that you normally do. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the Problems on Problems YouTube channel. We put out new videos every Friday, put out new podcast episodes every Friday, working on getting other podcast episodes up sooner rather than later. This summer, we start our summer interview series. You'll see some people from old channels like Questionable Content, mainly those channels. You'll see people from those channels come on interview. You'll see some new people that you've never seen before. So maybe some pro athletes, maybe some, yeah, that's about it. Pro athletes. That's all I got for you. No, some pro athletes, some creators, a lot of amazing people in and around the Charlotte area and further out than that. So be ready for that this summer. Maybe you might see a couple of your old favorites on there too. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and everywhere else that you can find podcasts. And don't forget to follow us at Problems on Problems Podcast on Instagram, at Problems_pod on Twitter, and everywhere else. You know exactly where to follow your boy at Mike Santy 18 on all social media. But like I always say, guys, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story, and I will see you next week.
I pressed the button in the